Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Blockchain and Beyond. As always, I'm your host Farzan. So at the time of recording, it is New Year's Eve. So if you are listening or watching on New Year's Eve, I wish you all a happy New Year's. Um, so I guess we'll get straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about VeChain. So VeChain is a project or a blockchain ecosystem which initially began in 2015 as a private blockchain working with a number of enterprises. However, in 2016 they made a move onto public blockchains with a token called VEN. However, in 2018 they actually launched their own blockchain called VeChain 4, with their main token being VeChain. So one of VeChain's main goals is to enable a better and more transparent supply chain management system for companies globally, which, this can support areas such as agriculture, shipping, and commerce, and also allow end users of these goods to have greater confidence of things like sustainability. But we'll discuss that a bit more towards the end. So the two primary tokens of the VeChain 4 blockchain are VeChain, which ticker is VET, and also V4, which has the ticker VTHO. And while VeChain is the native token of this blockchain, V4 functions as the gas or transaction fees on this network. So anytime somebody wants to send a transaction or interact with smart contracts, they will have to pay a fee in V4. And just a quick little note from here, I'll be using VeChain to refer to either the coin or the blockchain depending on the context. And this is something that I've seen quite commonly from others in the space. And although it's not, technically correct to what I'm referring to, it's quite a mouthful to say VeChain 4 every time you want to refer to the blockchain. In regards to the basic tokenomics, the VeChain token has a supply of 86 billion coins, whereas V4 has a theoretically unlimited supply, which I'll go into more detail about. And VeChain also employs a governance model which is directed by the VeChain Foundation, which enables effective decision making, which I'll discuss later on. But onto the team. So Sunny Liu is the founder of VeChain, and he's quite a well-known name in the VeChain industry. And he has a focus on, solving transparency using blockchain. And he works quite closely with some collaborators such as PricewaterhouseCoopers and DNV, who VeChain uses to verify, data quality and also certify certain processes. And now also the co-founder Jay Zhang. So he directs VeChain's global corporate structure, governance, and financial management. And he has also worked previously at Deloitte and PricewaterhouseCoopers in the finance and risk management areas. And having begun in 2015, VeChain is probably one of the oldest dedicated smart contract platforms on the market, which probably reflects in their close workings among enterprise clients. Now, before we dive too deep into the tech, I want to talk about the governance model which they're actually using. So within the VeChain Foundation, there exists a steering committee whose primary goal is to define the strategy and oversee the work going on the blockchain. And behind them operates an advisory board, but also the VeChain stakeholders. So using an online platform, VeChain coin holders can actually vote on proposals to the network and its operations, allowing them to combine ideas from the committee, but also get the community's input at the same time. And that's quite unique because this may obviously change in the future as the system matures. Perhaps they choose to go for a completely decentralized model where only VeChain holders are ones voting on these matters. Now onto the technology. So VeChain 4 implements a system called Proof of Authority, which we've mentioned before but not explored too deeply. In this particular implementation, all of the nodes which validate transactions are approved by a party, in which case is the VeChain Foundation at the moment. And initially 101 of these authority nodes were chosen, and to be chosen, each entity had to hold 25 million VeChain coins, meaning they had to make a significant investment into the ecosystem. However, they also had to voluntarily disclose their identity and by extension their reputation to the VeChain Foundation in exchange for the right to validate these transactions. So effectively, the entity's reputation is placed at stake and ensures that all of these nodes have an incentive to operate truthfully. And in the future, the identities of these nodes may be publicly disclosed, further adding to the reputation as a stake. The main benefit of proof of authority is its speed compared to proof of work and proof of stake systems. Further, as all of these nodes have been verified and are typically large enterprises, there's an assumption that these providers will have much more secure systems than smaller validators, which may exist on other blockchains, and this overall just adds to the security of VeChain. Alongside this, VeChain has also published a number of digital standards within their blockchain, which enables smart contracts and NFTs, similarly to how Ethereum has. For anyone interested, these are called VIP 180 and VIP 181 respectively. Now, the tokenomics. So VeChain has a supply of approximately 86.7 billion coins, and 75% of these are in circulation. The rest are actually held by the VeChain Foundation in order to support the growth of the system for marketing and other incentives, or to help onboard large enterprises onto their systems. It's also worth noting that each VeChain token produces a minimum of 0.0004 V4 per day, which is spread over the day and given out every 10 seconds. So this means that VeChain, that V4 has an unlimited supply, as it will be generated regardless of the amount in circulation. However, whenever a transaction is carried out, 70% of all the V4 used will be burnt. The idea being that the 70% cannot be used by anyone, and as the blockchain sees more use, this 70% will eventually grow larger and larger to overtake the generation rate, meaning that there will be more V4 taken out of the system than V4 being put into the system. The remaining 30% of the V4 spent is distributed to the 101 authority nodes as rewards, and this is given on top of the V4 rewards they generate from their VeChain holdings. And these rewards are likely to be used by the nodes themselves to actually write more transactions onto the blockchain. There's also a few more node types, and these require a minimum holding of 600,000 to up to 15.6 million VeChain tokens, and these are intended to stabilize the value of the token by providing additional V4 generation, but also having a maturity period in which tokens cannot be taken out of the system. Now, as VeChain's focus is to disrupt traditional supply chains, which are often obscure or reliant on old systems, we can now discuss a use case which benefits the end consumer. So a consumer such as you or me might visit the supermarket and pick up some chocolate or some other produce, and on this packaging will be some sort of identification such as a QR code. Then using our mobile devices, we can scan this QR code, which will take us to a website where we are able to see details about our batch of chocolate. This can include where the cocoa was originally grown, if the farmer was paid fairly, whether that's through fair trade or other initiatives, where the cocoa was transported to for processing. This may also include details such as the carbon footprint and how it was eventually transported to where you are buying it. So this describes a use case where each step of the supply chain is fully integrated with the blockchain, and that particular care is taken to give the end user detail which can enable us to make informed decisions. And by doing so, it can also promote a healthy competition between different companies to provide a better overall end product towards their users. So overall, I think VeChain is quite a unique blockchain. It's tackling the supply chain industry, which has stayed relatively the same over many years. But this is probably due to the fact there are so many moving parts, which make it difficult to build a system that's particularly catered to it. However, VeChain has the benefit of being active since 2015, giving it a lot of time to mature and iron out issues that many other groups may still be figuring out, making it an ideal candidate for sustainable growth, and also gives it a reputation amongst other enterprise clients. And this can be seen in a lot of the companies that they are working with. So VeChain are already working with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and some of the other companies include BMW. We have DB Schneider, which is a German logistics company. We have LVMH, which is home to a number of popular brands such as Louis Vuitton, Sephora, and Marc Jacobs. H&M, which is a clothing brand, and also a number of other Chinese companies. So their reach is quite global. They're working with companies all over the world, and hopefully this will soon reflect in the projects that they're able to work on and implement. And to tie this in with recent events, VeChain is a Singaporean and Chinese-based company, and although the Chinese government recently banned many things to do with cryptocurrency, VeChain remains a company that the Chinese government work closely with, and I predict that this is due to VeChain's focus on building a strong blockchain ecosystem, which can also inevitably help the government. And yeah, that's all from me for today. It's been a pleasure discussing another project, another one which I've been following for quite a while. And as always, I encourage anyone who's interested to take a look. And if there's any questions or any comments, feel free to reach out to me on social media. But until next time, goodbye.